How are you? I am pretty good, thanks for asking. So, I decided to put my weight information in the intro because, well, there's not much interesting about it other than hopefully it's going down. And I'm sure I'll talk about it anyway if there's like a milestone reached or like something interesting to say about it. And in the outro, I've decided to put body shots from the 4 different angles. I'm a little too modest to do it without a shirt on, or shirt off I should say, at this point. And I've got nothing to compare it to, so I just put like side by side with like pictures that were sort of the same angle from before. Some from last year when I was probably over 340, and then some from earlier than that when I was probably around the same weight I am now. The 2 where I'm taking a picture of some gorgeous scenery in the background that I've cropped out, unfortunately for you, is of me from about 3 years ago when I was about this weight that I am now. So on Sunday the 18th, I measured my waist and neck again for my body fat estimate. And so I took that and I averaged that with the one that I did on the 11th and on the 4th for my body fat estimate for the 11th. I've mentioned this before, but basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the measurement to smooth out measurement errors. I'm taking the measurement of the week before, the week of, and the week after, and averaging those to determine the body fat estimate for the week of. And so my body fat estimate will always be at least a week behind from where I am right now. And anyway, so the body fat estimate for the 11th is 39.4%. And as you may recall, I got a DXA scan on the 12th, which was 40.2%. So I'll be calibrating my body fat estimates by plus 0.8% until I get another DXA scan in the fall. So change number 5 is strength training. And most people incorporate exercise into their weight loss plans right away. I didn't bring it in until March 11th. I didn't do anything until March 11th. I am Mr. 40 by 40, so each of the 40 changes are going to be brought in on their own and analyzed and tweaked as necessary. And as a sort of like a related side note, I was on the balcony with my boyfriend one night and we were talking, and he was talking about a time when he was in his 20s and he decided he was going to quit smoking and quit drinking and go vegetarian and a whole bunch of other changes, and he found this to be easier that way. And so my response was, well, how many of those changes ended up being permanent? And the answer was none, and that's my point exactly. Before I talk about exercise, I just gotta say, there's no shortage of opinions when it comes to exercise and especially strength training. Gyms are full of alpha male wannabes with 100% confidence and 0% competence. And you may hear or see me say or do something that you disagree with, or something that you want to give your input on. You're welcome to. I would especially love it if you wanted to tell me about a study in like an academic journal or something like that, because I love to read those and I will most likely apply them if they're good science. I also find personal experience really interesting, which is what makes YouTube so great. I may or may not find your personal experience valid for my own plan, but I'll still find it very interesting. But websites that are selling something, or even if they aren't, if they're saying something without citing any sources or any evidence whatsoever, except for anecdotal evidence, and they just have zero credibility with me. Same with people at gyms, same with TV people, zero credibility. First of all, I hate cardio, and I'm doing none of it. as I become lighter, I'm sure that I will be more active in general. But, you know, and if cardiovascular fitness was my goal, then I probably would do it. But permanent fat loss is my goal. And it's just the weight of scientific evidence just shows that cardio does very little to help people achieve fat loss permanently. You know, I kind of find it tragic to see a lot of, you know, every time I pass by a gym in the window, they've always got the treadmills, and there's all the fat people walking on treadmills and stair climbers and elliptical machines and all these things, and they're paying for it. And I don't know. You know, if I want to go for a walk outside, it'd be good for my body and good for my brain, release endorphins and all that, but and it's for free. To me, cardio is just another way to increase my calorie deficit, except on the other end from a restrictive diet. And I want to keep my calorie deficit fairly small. I don't want my body's homeostatic mechanisms to kick in and lower my metabolism. And so I'm keeping my calorie deficit fairly small by saving my time and on to do other things, not by doing cardio, but by restricting the carbohydrates in my diet specifically. So that's all I have to say about cardio. Secondly, I hate gyms, and I will be going to none. I'm introverted, and I don't like the social aspect of gyms. I can't really concentrate on what I'm doing when there's people grunting and sweating and looking at me and being around me. I don't like crowds. And at home, I control the music. I can wear what I want. I can have a relaxing shower after, and a snack from the fridge for free. And I really like to focus. I like to focus on my breathing. I like to focus on good form. I like to focus on slow movement, no momentum. And luckily for me, the very best exercise for weight loss, in my opinion, comes from a pair of these and a bench and some of these. And I'll get to all of that in my next video. There's going to have to be a part 2 to this, possibly a part 3 that I'll post next week. And I just finished explaining all the things that I'm not doing, but ultimately I think that the best exercise is whatever you like doing, and whatever you want to make a part of your daily life is the best exercise. There are better ways and worse ways to lose fat through exercise. But ultimately, if you're doing something you don't want to do, you're not going to do it for the rest of your life. And that's really the most important aspect of it. Alright, well, have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.